Welcome back, Entrepreneur Week. One of the things that's really exciting about being down here, and especially the last two or 3 years, are doing these continuous conversations. My favorite thing is that I get to meet people I don't know. So welcome to Boise Entrepreneur Week, Mr. Andrew Oppenheimer.
Hello, thank you.
I always like to start these conversations off with asking folks, like, what is the most interesting thing about you that we should all know?
And my Jeopardy story, I think, is what I got to come up with. I got to sharpen this. Oh man, I am fifth generation Idahoan, Boisean. So that's not that many people know that. There's obviously a lot of natives here, but not that many. We're getting more and more transplants, so that's become rare and rare. I'm an animal lover, although on one occasion I did happen to get in a tug of war with a wild deer, and I did have to kind of, I didn't hit him, but I kind of had to knock him a little bit to let go of my hiking shorts. So
this continues to be a fifth generation Idaho story.
Yeah. I come from a long line of animal lovers, and yet you can get into some physical art.
Yeah, right.
It's part of being in the outdoors. I don't know. I think that's one of them. I don't know many people that have taken it to that level with a deer, but. Yeah.
Well, so for, being a fifth generation Idahoan, I mean, my family's been here forever as well. I grew up in the Valley. And so, kind of talking about the change of our area. I mean, obviously the Oppenheimers have been here for a long time. I'm sure many people recognize the Oppenheimer name with the Oppenheimer Companies. But, I've noticed at least that, even with transplants, but also we're seeing a lot more people just stay here in Boise. I mean, we used to have this brain drain problem. What do you think's contributing to that? What do you think is contributing to people wanting to stay here in the Valley, or the gravity that this place is kind of having right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, people moving from all over the country, California. I mean, that's not necessarily new, but it has certainly hit kind of hyperspeed in the last couple of years. And I think, Boise's been growing, I think for the most part, in a really great, wonderful ways. We're getting, in addition to a lower cost of living compared to, bigger cities like New York or Chicago or LA, I think we're getting better food. We're getting resources that other smaller cities and around Idaho don't necessarily have. So there's I think there's more opportunities even in tech now, certainly in business and food. You've got a great university here at Boise State. Obviously, the state government's here. So I think there's a myriad of reasons, but mostly it's just because people have discovered Boise. They realize it's a great place to live. They, it's the access to the outdoors, which, I sort of took for granted growing up. It's something that, after living in other cities, you come back and go, gosh, this is so easy, and there's not that many people, which is, getting rarer and rarer. So I think the overall just quality of life, the makes achieving that work-life balance, I think, a little bit more. Yeah, it's more achievable when you don't have to sit in traffic for hours on end with everybody else in the rat race, so to speak. So I think it's just overall, it's just getting to be a better and better place.
Well, in the last few years too, I really think that people migrate to where there's opportunity, right? And so, you go to some other places, and I think there's kind of waning opportunity. Where here in Boise, it seems like there's waxing opportunity, right? There's definitely a moment and growth that's happening here. So pivoting a little bit, I know you're kind of here at Boise Entrepreneur Week this year representing the Oppenheimer Companies. So what are you up to? What stuff are you plugged into? I heard you talking about trail mix before we got started.
Yeah, so that was kind of the entree, no pun intended, into our involvement. It was trail mix, and primarily because a big focus of mine at the company is CPG food sales. We have some other divisions like real estate and food service distribution, but CPG food sales, both in branded and in private label, is a big focus for us, and it's one of my focuses. And we've over the years developed 3 different brands. We have one called Funny Farm, which is goat cheese mac and cheese, as well as block goat cheese and goat dairy, and it's the only nationally distributed line of goat dairy products, ice cream, mac and cheese in the country. That's our newest brand. We've got another brand called Blendtopia, which is a better for you brand. It's soy-free, dairy-free, organic, and it's frozen, IQF, so individually quick frozen fruit and vegetables. Okay. And then these little smoothie chips like pucks that have superfoods in it. So you dump that in the blender, add a liquid, and you've got an instant smoothie. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of the boost like you have at Jamba. And
People just put it in their Vitamix or blender or whatever. Yeah.
And we just launched a smoothie pop. So on that one, you don't even need a blender. You just grab and go out of the frozen aisle. We just launched a frozen latte line as well. So new to the category there. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then we have a brand called Truwhip, which is a better for you frozen whipped topping. So
So I see a trend with better for you.
yeah, I mean
products
certainly, yeah. I mean, I think
Have you guys had much interaction with Killer Creamery, which is the better for you ice cream?
yeah,
So
sure,
Lewis?
sure, yeah. We know Lewis and Killer Creamery. Yeah, we play in ice cream and better for you frozen. So yeah, I think I mean even just having them in the neighborhood, it's companies like Lighthouse. I think he's got a Lighthouse background, that are local to Idaho is exciting.
Right.
Having companies like Albertsons here, Winco here, these are all folks that we sell to in some way, shape, or form. We do a fair amount of private label as well, but it's really on the brand side that we get to kind of focus on better for you. And I think that's, we sort of think that that's where the trend is headed. Now, whether how quickly that happens varies by segment, right? But I think that's better for you is an area we like to focus on because we want to make food that people feel like they can eat, and it's something quality going in their body at a price that they can afford.
Right.
And brand building is fun. We just like doing it. It's fun getting the messaging out there. It's a little bit different than
sometimes that's the most fun of being an entrepreneur is like thinking through those problems.
Yeah.
Then you got to do the real work after you think about it.
Yeah, well, I got to go to a trade show with a giant stuffed goat that that people kind of like mistook, like, gosh, is that real? And it was an eye catcher. So what other line of business can you get into where you get to travel with a large
inflatable goat? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, in that same vein, the donkey that Simplot's headquarters has in front of it freaked me out the first time I drove by. I didn't know it just like moved out of the corner of my eye. So animals, that's our thing here, I guess.
Yeah,
you gotta walk around
whatever gets folks' attention,
Yeah. So that's a great kind of breakdown of the CPG products that you guys are working with. It makes a lot of sense why you guys are interested in Trail Mix. For folks who don't know, Trail Mix is a food product pitch competition. The winner gets $50,000 and placement on store shelves of Albertsons. And you're actually going to be a judge this year, right?
Yeah.
So have you been to Trail Mix before? You ever judged before?
I never have. No, it's been my first time. I'm excited. I get to go to food shows, all year long and meet, founders that are just passionate about what they're making, what they're bringing to market. And so I'm really excited just to hear everybody's story and maybe try some products and just hear people's journey, because everybody's got that great idea of like, oh gosh, this is delicious. We should be selling this. And it, people don't necessarily know the journey and the work that goes into getting a project from in your brain to on a shelf, right, or in someone's on someone's pantry or in their kitchen. So I'm really excited to hear the stories and just try some different products.
Yeah, well, and you brought up something kind of when you're talking about your relationship with the ecosystem here, which is that our thesis at Entrepreneur Week 7 years ago was that there really is like all the ingredients for a good ecosystem here to be able to accelerate these food product entrepreneurs. And so it's really awesome that you guys are coming down, judging, participating, sponsoring, all the good stuff. It was really great to chat with you, Andrew, and get to know you a little bit. That's all the time we have for right now. But with that, we have a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back at you.